the Dream 100 Show. The epicenter of influence, collaboration, and exponential growth. You're about to discover the power of relationships. Dream 100 relationships. And you're one relationship away from a totally different business and life. This is your host, Michael Tesner.
So how do you differentiate yourself from the dozens, hundreds, even thousands of competitors? In today's episode of the Dream 100 Show, I want to talk through a variety of strategies and tactics and ideas that you can start to consider to differentiate yourself and your business. Now, we've got a lot of different people that listen to this show. A lot of different businesses, retail, physical locations, e-com, coaches, consultants, agencies, lots and lots of different options, lots of different businesses. So this is not necessarily a one-size-fits-all, but the concepts that I'm going to throw at you and some of the ideas, it's meant to really get you thinking and then grabbing and latching onto one of these and implementing. Speed is key. Money follows speed. So if you hear something, you're like, that's an amazing idea, let's go with it. I want you to implement it as fast as you possibly can. Now, the exercise that I want you to start with first is that I'll talk to a lot of business owners and I'll say, tell me how you're different. What makes you unique? How are you better? How do you separate yourself? And I get generic answers. Well, we're family owned and operated. We've been around for 20 years. We have a A+ rating on the Better Business Bureau. We ship quickly. We offer free shipping. We provide a great product. Unfortunately, those are generic. There's nothing in there that no one else offers. And the objective is to get you from a category of, let's call it 20 businesses locally, for example, to a category of 1. If you're a landscaper, there's probably, within my geographic area, I don't want to give a bad guess, but I'd say there's at least 250 to 500, probably more, people that are cutting grass in the summer, for example. And there's probably at least 100, and that might even be a low number. Maybe it's 1,000, I don't know. There's a lot of people that offer that exact same service. How do you then start to differentiate yourself? So if I were to ask you, and again, you were to tell me, well, Michael, we've been doing this for 30 years, so our crew has been around for a while. That's great, but unfortunately, it's not completely unique. Now, is it unique against the other fly-by-night companies that they went and bought a lawnmower and a truck, for example, and trailer, and they're new this year? Sure, you're going to have an edge against them, but that's not what I'm looking for here. So my step 1 for you is to take a couple of steps back and think about your business and look at everything from before somebody has purchased with you to while they're a current customer and then after the fact. And write down anything that you feel, keyword feel, makes you a little bit different and unique. So example, and this isn't going to be my big takeaway for you just yet. You're a landscaper. Every time you mow the lawn, you leave, a couple pieces of candy on the front porch for the kids. Or you leave a handwritten thank you card that's made out to the family and just says thank you. Something like that. I can assure you that there's probably not a landscaping company that I've ever seen that delivers a little package on your front porch after they cut your lawn. I doubt that exists. So that's one of those that would put you in a category of 1. But if you're doing anything that's slightly different, we always cut your lawn the exact same day and time unless it is raining, and then we will bump you 24 hours. Start to write down these different things, and the chances are going to be pretty high that you're going to find some things that you didn't even realize actually do separate you from some of the other competitors. And unfortunately, you're probably not monetizing that stuff. Even going off the timing thing. My landscaper, they come at all different days and times every single week, and it drives me crazy. Now, we've continued to use this company because my wife thinks they do a good job. All of our neighbors use them. But for me, if somebody were to say, we're going to guarantee you that we're going to be there at the same time Same day within, let's call it an hour, for example, so that you can make sure that you've got stuff off the lawn and your dog's not out and your kids aren't playing on it. That would be a unique selling point. So step one is write down all the different things, no matter how small they are. And free shipping can be one of them. Write that down. Well, we include mints in our package. There's a jewelry company that during the Christmas season, they give you a little piece of candy with every one of your orders. Little stuff. They're not the only one that does it, but it's writing all those things down. So we now have a list that we can start with. Now, what I want you to do is to kind of prioritize that and say, well, what are some of those things that are actually really, really unique? And you're going to start to leverage those in your marketing and your sales process in how you communicate. That's step number one. Step number two is I'm going to rapid fire some ideas to get you thinking so that you can really become that category of one. That is my entire objective. So let's stick with the landscaping example. And this could apply to any home service business, for example. Could apply to almost any business, candidly. But let's stick with that as an example. How could you instantly be a category of one? You could offer a guarantee that no one else offers. I guarantee we'll take before pictures and after that your lawn will be the healthiest that it's ever been this year, or the entire next year is completely free of charge. We guarantee that we will be there within an hour of the same time and same day, or that cut is completely free. We guarantee you that you're not going to have any grass clippings all over your driveway. We don't just use a blower, but we even have a guy that has a little mini power washer and is cleaning your driveway. And if we have any grass clippings, I mean, that would be a little extreme, but we're going to give you your money back for that cut. That could start to apply to all these other businesses, that if you have a guarantee that no one else has, that's the secret sauce. Guarantee that you're going to love this candle. It's going to be the best fragrance that you've ever smelled, or we will let you pick another fragrance and it's on us. We guarantee that your skin will be looking the absolute best within 14 days or your money back. Now, there are things like that you're not now a category of one, but if you're competing against 1,000 skincare companies and most of them aren't offering a performance guarantee, but you are, that again starts to separate you in a particular category. So what type of guarantee could you offer at your business that is extremely unique? Unique, different, that no one else is offering. And I'm not talking about the marketing agency owners that, well, we're going to guarantee you 1,000 leads within 3 minutes or your money back. Yeah, that's something that no one else is doing, but it's not realistic. It's also a little bit shisty. But what can you do that's fun and playful, but again, it starts to put you in a category of one? Idea number two, how could you take your business and then niche down even further? How could you specialize even further? You're a chiropractor. What if you only specialize? There's one that I know of. He specializes in only working with dance and theater people. So he knows the exact things to do, how many adjustments they need, like he's adjusting their feet, for example. That is all that he specializes in. No one else. What if you only specialized in babies? You only specialized in elite athletes, for example. Maybe your business only caters to executives, and then when they walk in, there's a certain type of aura in your store because that's who you're catering to. When you take your broad-based business and then start to niche down even further, you can quickly become a category of one. So niching, what could you do to further niche yourself down? If you're this e-commerce business selling skincare products that I had just talked about, how could you niche that down even further? Maybe certain ages, certain types of skin. So you're focusing on helping women that are in their 40s to early 50s that have damage from the sun, and your products are the absolute best for that. And then you layer on the guarantee and it's game over. How could you niche down further than you have before? You're cutting lawns, you're a landscaper, great. How do you niche that down? You're only focusing on people that have half an acre to 1 acre, that live in this particular neighborhood, that don't want anyone to ever come after a certain time. Like when people get home, you don't want the landscaping companies to be there at 7 p.m. on a Friday night. Friday, Saturday, I don't want to see them on a weekend ever. That's the time you want to enjoy your lawn. So what if you literally designed your whole business around only working on Wednesday, Thursday, and half a day Friday, for example, and you guarantee they're never going to be there on a weekend? Like that's the guarantee, but also you're starting to niche down even further. What if you had a party rental company, but you only specialized on graduations, or you only specialized on renting things for weddings, or you only had the most extravagant tents? There's an amazing rental company, tentandtable.com, that sells to, they're an e-commerce company that sells to rental companies. What if you were to pick their best bounce houses and that you now have the biggest bounce houses ever? You only sell to schools. You're not doing the little rinky-dink one-day birthday parties for $300. You're only niching down to schools in your area. And then you have all the gear to support it. And then you layer on a guarantee. Most fun that you've ever had at your activity, or your next one is free, for example. So we started talking about guarantees, and then we started talking about niching down. The third one is about communication. How can you change the game when it comes to how you're communicating and connecting with your prospects and your customers? How can you just go another level higher? Perfect example. Pest control company came to my house this morning. It was inconvenient because I let the dog out in the morning, so that threw off my whole morning. And they used to leave a little letter that says, here's kind of what we did. So now it's a QR code. Okay, great, that's fine. But there wasn't anything unique on it. There wasn't anything different. What if that person took out their cell phone, and I'll give you a live example, and let's say, great, he's looking at the notes, and okay, great, I've got it. Hey there, Tasner family. It is Steve from Fox Pest Control. Just want to give you a quick overview of what I did today. And if you have any questions, you can respond back to this message. So I checked the perimeter. I noticed that one of the bait boxes was empty, so I did refill that. All the areas were sprayed. What we tend to see now at this stage of it being April, we start to see ants and things like that, so you should be covered for that. I also peeked in with the flashlight. I opened up because it wasn't locked. I hope that was okay. Your storage shed, to make sure that there were no critters in there. Looked under all these different things. So you're good for now. I do expect to see like some bees and things like that. So keep an eye out. If you have any other concerns, feel free to message us back. But he's doing that in a video, personal video, 30, 60 seconds to you. That puts you in a completely different category. How can you start to communicate more with your current clients, your prospects, differently, making all these other channels open? How can you just do things that no one else is doing? Extreme personalization. Marketing in the moment, one-on-one to that particular person, is where it's at. The more personal you can be, the better. 3 ideas that I just shared. Personalization with your communication, guarantees, ideally some kind of performance guarantee that no one else is doing, and niching down. 3 ideas, rapid fire at you, that I want you to take one of them and see how can you start to implement it? How can you test the waters with your branding, your communication? I'm going to continue throwing other ideas as to how you can separate yourself from the pack. But as you're deploying the Dream 100, I want you to be a category of 1. I want you to be the only business that does X. No one else does this. No one else has this guarantee. No one else can do this. Now, if there's certain things that I mentioned earlier when you do your audit, hey, we've been around for 150 years. Well, that definitely makes you pretty darn unique. We're a 5th generation company. But no longer is it okay to just say we're locally owned and operated. Great, there's 5,000 other restaurants for me to pick from locally. How are you different and unique? Restaurants is a perfect example to be disrupted. Businesses that are in the family entertainment space, birthday parties and things like that. What if you gave a guarantee that no one else could ever give? The number 1 best birthday party that your son or daughter has ever had, or your party is on us, and a complete refund. Like your next, they give you another party and you get your money back. I don't think there's any business that's offering that. You'd be a category of one that gives you marketing fodder, branding fodder, easier sales. You can close them on why your business then is better. Just so you know, we're the only business that does birthday parties locally, and I think even nationally, that has our #1 best birthday party guarantee. So here's how that works. If at the end you were not happy, you're like, this wasn't the best birthday party they've ever had, #1, we're gonna refund all your money. Then that could be $500, could be $2,000, depending on how many kids you have. #2, everyone that's there is gonna get a pass to come back on us and hopefully to have some more fun so we can make that right. Like, that to me puts you in a category of one. Get out there, find some ways to differentiate yourself that no one else is doing. It's Michael Tazzer signing off. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. I'll see you next week.